Well, the thing is, like, we want to do things that are for good missions, purpose, and cause, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why
You
I'm
got
here doing this. That's like the whole network that we
100%.
want to do.
Yeah.
So,
Like
you know,
highlighting people that matter to us, but also are
right,
doing good. But also, like, yeah, we're all connected some way.
yeah.
Like, I met Zach at Todd's event. We're talking. He's like, "Hey, how'd you get WrestleMania tickets?" I was like, "Oh, through iHeart." He's like, "Okay, like, what else you got?" And we ended up hanging out in Jingle Ball and just connecting throughout the years. And like I said, it's
right.
just finding, hey, you have a superpower of being fit and motivating people, regardless of their size, right? I have tech. I have iHeart. Like, how can we work together? Your
Yeah.
messaging's awesome. He's
Yeah.
like, I introduced Zach to my buddy Dave. He introduced me to Chaz, my
Yeah.
namesake. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So it's
But before we got started a business venture, it was friends first. So
that's it.
it's
Yeah.
but it's surrounding yourself with good, like-minded people.
Yeah.
We have been that for how many years now?
Probably going back 20,
Five,
2019.
5 years,
At least.
6 years. So that's what it's about. We're rolling, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
rolling,
cool,
baby.
And
cool.
that's where it's, yeah.
So I'm really glad to have you.
Thanks,
I
man.
wanted to give you your own dedicated show as
Thanks,
Chaz and
man.
my new co-host Chaz Powers.
I love it.
That's where you got the name from. But some people may remember you from our pod with Valley Spring. But you yourself, as an individual, not only are you my friend, but you're super smart, intelligent in the marketing and recruiting space. You've co-founded a company, um, multi-million-dollar company. Now you have your own company doing the same thing. So I wanted to just get you and I and Mike Chaz Powers just to have a conversation about what you do, and it's super interesting to me. I know it will be to the audience too because there's so much there to unpack. So
No, thanks so much, Zach and Mike. Thanks so much for having me on the pod. I mean, we had such a great experience at Valley Spring, going through everything with Brian and understanding health, wellness, fitness, how it all,
yeah.
at the intersection of excellence. And I think understanding that and understanding your guys'
Hold
core
on. I
thesis.
love what you just said. The intersection of
It's
excellence. Ah, that's
well, it is.
amazing.
I mean, you're
That's
motivating
amazing.
people left and right through your social networks. I've, been following you for years now. It's just, it's not to be corny, but it's also wholesome
Right.
too.
Yeah.
It's wholesome, it's genuine, and you have a great way to connect with people. And I think that's why we connected so well. And through mutual friends and talking for a number of years and then doing the pod now that you started with Prestige, and being able to impact people in a positive way. And I think that's where, like, even going back to Valley Spring on that and how to impact people and not be and understand where, like, it's okay if you need to talk to somebody on therapy. It's okay if you need help on substance abuse, whatever
Mhm.
it is. Like, I think the stigma is still there because I still talk to people that are like, "Whoa, I don't need any help," but it's definitely shifting in a positive way, and I think you're a big proponent of that. And you guys and having the pod here is
Well,
really
thank you.
special.
And that's what we want to do with the pod. But you said something like you said there without being corny. And that's a lot of the people's issue with this stuff is, well, I don't want to sound like a cliche and I need help, or I don't want to reach out. Or if I post something,
Right.
I don't want I don't want it to look like, oh, he's just like that's his corny motivational message today. Okay. Sometimes it is, right?
Yeah,
But take that hat off, take that mindset off, and think like, how could I actually benefit from this today?
yeah,
Even if it's doesn't have to be sunshine and rainbows all the time, because life is not like that. But if you see a quote, if you see something, how could this help me today? If you wanted it to,
hmm,
because you can do that. And then that bleeds over to maybe I could talk to somebody about this.
hmm.
Maybe I could call my friend. Maybe I could check on a bro. Maybe I could do that and it would help me. And it would help him too.
Agreed. And I think
Yeah.
more and more people, you know what? And I think it happens as you get older because of life experiences and different things that you go and different things that happen throughout your life. You're just younger. You got an ego. You have,
Mhm.
you always, perception is reality in a lot of ways, and being in front of camera. And that's why I respect you so much, because you have such a amazing following and vast following, but you're also a genuinely good person. And I think that changes, and I think as you're younger, you want to be put in this light where like, all right, I'm this badass dude. I'm freaking 6'3", 260.
Right.
Like nothing is gonna bother me. Like I go through life like I could, I could do no wrong. And then as you get older and you're just around, you're like, this life thing's fucking pretty hard. Like I would like to have some people around me
Mhm.
that I could be real with, that I could talk to them about real shit that's going on in my life, that
Yeah.
I could actually have a really good sounding board. And I think that's happening more and more. And I think you're a big proponent of that.
Well,
So
thank you,
yeah.
man. I appreciate that. Without getting into it, I will kind of bleed the conversation to where
Yeah.
we're going with
Yeah.
business. You and I recently, a couple weeks ago, had a conversation about mutual acquaintance of ours and that we've done business with. We wanted to do some more business with, and we found out there were some things we both didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like separately,
Yes.
and then you didn't like separately, and then we got together and we were like, "Oh, this happened to you too."
Oh my
All right.
That's our viral moment.
Madonna Mia.
Oh,
All right.
Rocky
Down.
What is this company?
Command strips.
dude. Yeah, it didn't break, right?
It's all right if it does.
Damn, sorry. Dude. That's-
No, not at all. I'm just happy you didn't get hurt. I mean,
no. Maybe that was a sign
Going-
I shouldn't
go-
talk about what I
Should
was
we
about
take
to
the
say.
Godfather down?
Yeah, I was about to say, after-
should we just take him down.
Damn.
Okay, going
sorry,
back-
sorry about that.
no,
That's-
don't worry at all. That's not your fault. But I
So
yeah,
going there, it was like, hey, maybe this situation could be better and this person could be better. So maybe we just won't. And we rather not put money in front of being
Yeah.
good people.
yeah, and I
So-
think, I mean, I don't fault people for being transactional. I think our life is
Mhm.
transactional.
Mhm.
Talking with people, interacting with them. What can you do for me? What can I do for you? I think that's mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
I think if you're just strictly looking at it on a transactional basis, like when we first met, we had lunch, we talked,
Yeah.
like there was ways that we knew that we could help each other based upon the person that made the introduction to us. And he's like, "Oh, you guys should link, these people, like fantastic." I think you can be transactional in a way, but if you have genuine good intentions and you want to help people first and
That's
then
what it
be
is.
able to
Yeah.
then help each other from a mutually beneficial perspective on, hey dude, I'll introduce this person. I'll introduce you to this guy. Let's make some magic happen. I think that's where,
Mhm.
it happens. But I don't fault people for being transactional.
Yeah.
Life is there's only so much time in a day. I just see it having my daughter at 1. Like
No.
I'm like, shit, just make this intro, help out this person. But then you're like, all right, well, do I have a referral agreement for this client, or where do I have this? Like
Yes.
you have to think in a way that you're a revenue perspective. But I've always looked at relationships over revenue, and that yields amazing results long term.
Right.
Granted, not everyone can think long term in
Mhm.
ways. They're like, well, I got to make money today. What do I do today to make this introduction or help out this person in a way
Correct.
that we can both make money right now? So I think going back and forth on that and developing relationships, that's how I've always led, first with helping people and then being able to like, okay, well, is there a business opportunity here on how we could work together? And I think that's kind of how I've always, worked. But not everyone can work in that way. And it's you toe the line on building personal relationships. I work with a lot of these athletes. You
Right.
do a lot of personal things for athletes and celebrities. And then, it's maybe not always reciprocated.
Mhm.
And I think, finding really good people that value you and want to see you grow, as well as you guys can help each other. I mean, that's why we're friends. And that's why also we can help each other and build each other's businesses and podcasts and all this type of stuff. And that's what makes it fun. I think, and not to, keep a long-winded answer here, but like, I also just believe winning with other people is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Now that I have, I'm on my own business now with Saran on executive recruitment, and I've always worked with business partners, and now being solo, pretty much, I do have a silent business partner, but it's exciting to work with other people that are on the same page as you because you want to win with other people. And winning in teams is so much more fun.
Right. Yeah, and not everything has to be that either, right? Because some things are just transactional. Like a working relationship, that's all it's going to be, and that's fine. Not everything has to be a deep, meaningful friendship. But when you can create those out of business, that's even better. So that's
Yeah.
sort of where we're at now at this point, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's
what
exciting.
lead me a little bit into Suron. What are you doing day to day? What does the business look like?
Yeah. So on a day-to-day basis, we don't want to be breaking things here, Mr. Powers.
That's all I do.
But I think on a day-to-day, Suron is executive recruitment firm. So clients come to us with a need, whether they need a chief investment officer, whether they need an executive assistant, kind of ranges throughout. And I go out there, I source the right people, I open up my network, and I place people at all these different types of jobs. So it could be a financial firm that I'm working with in the city. It could be a regenerative medicine company down in Florida. It could be a tech company based out of the city as well. I mean, you name it. I've kind of worked with, and that's the beauty about it is having my own digital marketing agency in 2011, starting that from my parents' basement with $400, and then building that up to a multi-million-dollar company. Like I've just been exposed to so many different businesses, so many different people. So if people are like, well, how you could recruit a chief investment officer, but you can also recruit, an executive or a sales executive for another company. Like
Right.
I've been exposed to so many different businesses. So that's where companies come to me like, Chaz, we need this person. Okay. Well, let's go through the process and see where I can source the right people or find the right people. And because that is something that I think in the executive recruitment business, I think the stigma there is like, wow, it pays people a lot of money to be able to find these people. But it's the time and effort it takes to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It also goes into finding the right person for your business because onboarding and training takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of cost to that particular company. So if I can mitigate the uptime in terms of training and finding the right person and bringing them on board, it's time and money saved for that client.
So this is interesting. So in a world today where everyone's saying AI is going to eat up everyone's job, in a world where there are 4-year college graduates, sometimes 6-year, that cannot find a job and that account for more than 20% of the unemployment right now in this country. What are you seeing day to day as far as applicants being able to place them in the proper position in the role for whatever company that it is? What are we missing right now in the world of people trying to find work and it's just not working?
So there's and this is where it went back. There's an overabundance of people in marketing and tech roles and less of an abundance in like kind of the essential services, the plumbing, HVAC, the trade jobs.
Yeah.
And I know that's where, and I say that because that's where things are going with data centers.
Yeah.
And the energy that we need for AI, that's where those jobs are coming into play. It's just everyone's going to school and they don't know what they they don't know what they want to go to school for. So they go for communications, they go for marketing, they go for things that they use and they like social media. So they're in that respect. But we need more people on the trade. So there's an over and abundance for people in the marketing field and communications field. It's just, that's a fact. I post a CMO job, chief marketing officer job. I post a strategic marketing job. I'm getting, Suron's been around now for about 6 months. I'm getting 5,000 to 10,000 applicants.
Yeah.
Exactly. So those are those people with the degrees and the
In marketing,
and they can't find work.
They can't find work. And if I'm getting that, never mind if there's a Fortune 500, Fortune 100 company that's posting these jobs. It's insane the amount of people that are looking and applying.
Right.
And I just think it has to do with the education system and where you're pushing people when you get there. Because a lot of kids in high school, they just don't know what they want to do. So they go in communications, they go into marketing, and they're not as specialized, I think, that they need to be moving forward. And having such a wide variety and a vast knowledge in a lot of different things, that's work for some people. And it used to, I think it worked for me going back. I'm a little older. I'm going to be 38 this year. So like that worked in a way. I think nowadays, and I see it from the employer's eyes,
Mhm.
if you don't fit in this box, they're like, oh, he doesn't have this experience. Okay, we're moving on. There's so many applicants, there's so many people, like they stick to that
Mhm.
box that they want, which I think hurts in a lot of ways because you don't talk to people, and there's so much an abundance of people that you don't talk to people that, wow, look at this experience that this could translate really well and they could fit this job to a T. Um, but at that level, they're just trying to find somebody that checks this box, and fits right within.
And I don't think that works anymore. Where we're seeing it, and the education you brought up, the education system fundamentally is wrong. It's broken. It doesn't work anymore. It hasn't probably worked in 20 years.
Yeah.
And the way people are being educated, we talk
Yeah.
about this all the time, Mike, from stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's rapidly changing,
Yes.
only going to accentuate itself. And then you have maybe a 60-year-old in a CEO position trying to hire somebody for a role and doesn't check these boxes. Maybe they have a degree, but they're doing a job that has nothing to do with what they were educated and went to school for. So why would I hire this person? Well, maybe they're qualified. Maybe they're very qualified, but you won't give them a shot because they don't check your box.
It's so true, and I don't fault them for doing that either, but because they're like, we need to find someone, we need to fill this role. The
Right.
longer we don't fill this role, the amount of money it's costing us not to have someone in the seat and training them up and getting them up and running,
Right.
it's hurting the business. So I understand that, but
What scares me is right now it's internship season, right? There's over 4,000 applicants per internship at the company I work for.
That's
Like
crazy.
you can't even.
Yeah.
So even if you know somebody, maybe you'll get an interview, maybe. But it's horrifying. It's like it's really really scary for these kids coming out of school. It reminds me of 2009. That's when I graduated college, and there was nobody hiring.
Mhm.
Nobody was hiring.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's slowly getting to that. So if you don't have one, like you said, you're going to have all these applications. You're not going to know who's the right person. But two, on the other side, you got to get yourself in front of it. So even with the company I work for, there was tons of layoffs the last 3 years in the radio business. And because I am multi-talented, I'd like to think that I'm still here,
Yeah.
right? Over 10% of our workforce was laid off. I mean, that's a factual
Yeah.
thing. And all sales. So
So that's a great point. So it's almost like if you don't wear multiple hats,
mhm.
your value can be checked in one box. And if you're not checked in multiple boxes, you're disposable.
But from a hiring standpoint,
Exactly.
I look messy.
So
like-
that's the
like-
other
because they
that's
won't
the
give you a
other
shot.
scary-
They're like,
right,
wow,
that's
where's
right.
Yeah.
where do I place? Where do I?
I
Right.
got
Right.
recommended to a pharmaceutical company, and they're like, "Oh, this guy will kill it for you."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Well, he's on radio, he's on TV. What the hell does this guy do?" Like, so I look messy from the outside,
Right.
but
And that's-
internally, they're like, "What would we do without him?" Right?
Super
So-
highly valuable.
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
But then
Uh-huh.
if I have a role and he doesn't fit in this box, like
Yeah.
I don't even know where to even look. And that's something that I think good entrepreneurs and good CEOs, like I had an amazing candidate. He didn't fit the box for this kind of marketing role, but unbelievable in terms of AI automation and being able to help scale the business in ways. He's like, all right, we're opening up a position and we're hiring this person because we can't afford not to bring in somebody in this space.
Mhm.
So I think more and more companies, I think at the higher level, like the Nvidias and those where they're hiring for $500,000 and $1 million AI roles, I think the mid-tier kind of companies are like, we need someone in AI who knows what they're doing, who can help automate the business.
Yeah.
And we'll create a role for them because they don't have a specific budget for
Right.
AI automation or AI marketing person. Like they just don't have that. But now it's like, okay, we should be hiring somebody in this role because if we're not doing it, we're falling behind, and we need someone with an expertise in AI and AI automation to be able to help scale
Let's
the
jump
business.
into AI a little
Yeah.
bit. I think a lot of people, Mike, you're with a big corporation. You see this every day with many corporations and companies. I'm probably a little bit I'm probably safe with it. I don't think there's going to be a robot doing professional wrestling anytime soon. If there is, that'd be pretty damn cool. But I don't think I don't think it's as bad as people say that it is right now, at least. A few years from now, a different story. What are you seeing with AI and this scare of it's going to take over the world and everyone's jobs? And kind of touching back onto what we were just doing, how could people prepare for that? Because that is going to happen a little bit.
It is definitely going to take
Yeah.
a lot of jobs in terms of, I think, just I think an overall like admin, administrative work, things like scheduling that could be automated through AI and bots.
You just showed me a program you built,
Yeah.
completely automated,
Yeah.
handling all of your scheduling, and you built this. Why do you need to hire someone for that?
That's exactly the point. So I
Yeah.
think that administrative work is going to be subsidized by AI.
Yeah.
But I think those individuals that are really good, because they have to have interpersonal skills. They need to be able to communicate with their superiors or their executive assistant to the CEO. Like you got to be able to fill in the gap. So I think AI is going to diminish a lot of those particular roles, but I also think it's going to open up other opportunities to be able to jump in.
So do I.
So I think from a development standpoint, coding standpoint, I think that is getting hit hard.
Mhm.
They've been pushing you to go to college to learn coding, and now you could pretty much prompt it with a general, like, I could prompt it, and I'm not the most tech savvy, but I'm tech savvy enough to be able to prompt it the right way and be able to get results from a coding standpoint. So I think those jobs are getting subsidized. But if you could think critically and think from a business perspective, which a lot of these guys, it's like, okay, well, I know these coding languages. I know Python, I know HTML. Like, I know these things. That is that you're gonna get subsidized
Yeah.
really quickly. You need to think critically on how this is going to impact the business and how I could put in. So I think jobs are going to get hurt, but I think there's going to be other jobs that open up, like every other industry or every other time in history where things have gotten better with technology. They've opened up other opportunities. So
Same thing with the .com bubble.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happened. Everyone, the internet's going to destroy the world. It actually probably helped the world a lot to where nothing could exist right now without the internet, right?
Yes.
I think similar is going to happen with it. But the entry level, even white collar entry level jobs. My a good friend of mine, Andrew Yang, says early sort of administrative attorney roles, like lawyer, paralegal roles, that the company has to spend time and money training you up. Those are probably going to go away soon, because why would we pay you 75 grand a year when we could just pay your program that you just showed me? Here's a link. It does everything for you. I don't need a person.
And I'm not going to lose that knowledge transfer.
And you're not going to. Exactly. Yeah.
So I think the one interesting thing that I've heard and I've seen, it's just, and it is to that point, but it's also like there is a grind. It's the same thing in sports. When Tom Brady was the fourth string at Michigan, worked his way up. It's the same thing when he went to New England, but now you playing college football, you got to play right away. There's no training. There's no. It's same thing with college basketball and all those sports. Then you bring that into the business world, and business, no one's putting in that grind to get to that next level.
Right.
That first layer that's going to be taken by AI. Well, how do you build those calluses? How do you build those repetitions to start to get to that director level, that VP level? Like there's just a major gap there, because like, why would I be hiring somebody that I need to train to get to that point? When I transfer.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to level 1, 2, 3, 4.
But then you don't have those calluses or that muscle memory of, oh, this is what I did. This is how I coached.
This is how I got
this
there.
is how I got here. Right. Yeah. And The other thing is I'm kind of smirking while we're talking about this because I'm thinking of offices right now. They're empty again, right?
Yep.
First they were empty because everybody's working from home because of COVID. Now they're empty because everybody got replaced by
Too much
AI.
catch up. If you didn't know about it, you didn't know, and you didn't want to learn. So that's why it was such a niche thing.
It was, and I don't. The stigma now is just so negative. I don't even.
Yeah, I know.
I I do think it comes back. I'm just seeing it where crypto's heading right now, and I mean, they're saying BlackRock. Everyone is going to be tokenizing
Hmm.
all real world assets.
Well, they all own a ton of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
BlackRock, the biggest institutions, JP Morgan, everyone. And we have to put regulations. That's coming.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't realize they're spending billions and billions of dollars buying up these crypto assets for a reason.
Yeah. There's definitely a reason there, and I know that there's thousands of NDAs that have been executed. So I'm sure they're gonna flip a switch
Yeah.
and something's gonna happen here over the next 6 months to a year.
Yep.
But it goes back to NFTs and just having a ledger. It's just a digital receipt of ownership.
Hmm.
You own this particular NFT and it cannot be duplicated. And
Right.
this is who it's issued to, when it was created, who owns this, and then if you did sell it, okay, then it was transferred to this person for this amount of money.
Certificate of
Yeah,
authenticity
that's it.
digitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it probably come into play. That's where I mean the tokenization of real estate. Like if you have
I
a real
agree.
estate project or you own your house and then you want to sell that, I'd bet a lot of money that it's going to be on the blockchain, and
Yeah, I agree.
whether it's using NFT technology, I don't think they'll probably use the term based upon what had transpired over the last 5 or 6 years. But it's going to be tokenized, and it will have a ledger and a ledger of receipt that okay, X person owned this, they transferred that asset to Y person,
Hmm.
and I think that it's a very systematic and we're in a digital world, so why wouldn't it move that way?
We are.
We're still in an archaic world in a lot of ways, but it doesn't make sense as we continue to move in this digital fashion.
Do you think we ever see a day in our lifetime where paychecks are in cryptocurrency?
I do. I see that. I see that through Strike. Their blockchain. I think they have like a blockchain treasury, and you could purchase Bitcoin from there. They have it where you can get your get your paycheck right through your W-2, right through their platform through
There you
Strike. I also see it on Block, which is like they own Square and a bunch of other technology. Jack Dorsey, who
Oh, good.
created
Yeah.
Twitter.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so I think there's I think BitPay also
I
has it
see
as
too.
well.
Well, there's real estate transactions closing in crypto now.
Yeah.
I mean, there always has been, but now it's like a
I-
regular occurrence.
I think it's a regular occurrence, and I just think it's going to move that way. Do I think it's going to? I think we're thinking it's going to take a lot longer. I think once they flip the switch on this and tokenize the digital assets, you're not even going to realize. Like you're not going to be like, oh, this is on the blockchain.
Right.
It's just another digital transaction. Like when we go to a coffee shop, shout out Forum Coffee. You go to a coffee shop or you go anywhere, you either use Apple Pay, you're using some sort
Right.
of form of digital currency, where it's if you're pulling out dollars now, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
it's scary because the anonymity of that and having a little bit more flexibility where I could pay with dollars and
It's
not
tough.
be tracked
Yeah.
as much. I do think that's a sad reality that's going to happen. But I also think that it's inevitable that we're going to be moving towards this way.
So the other thing with the cryptocurrency that a lot of people don't realize, so if you're an entrepreneur, you realize it. So if you're going to wire money or you have to transfer funds, real estate, a business, whatever it is, no delay, do it in seconds.
Yeah.
There's no messing around. It's immediate, and you can see it immediately. That's a huge, valuable component in the world that we live in, and you can only do it with cryptocurrency right now,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, and I think it's like I think the banks are in a predicament.
They are.
I mean,
Because
they
why? So if
control
you take your
they
money out
control
of
the
bank-
rails. Yeah.
So if you take your money out of the bank and you put it to a crypto wallet, Well, they can't leverage it out 9 times.
Yes.
So now what happens to the banks? Not a good situation, right? But that's the way that you can directly control the influence of your cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And travel with it. Like, I just think, isn't it just funny that like all of your assets, say you have $100,000 in assets, you can't travel with more than $10,000 in cash at
That's
the
right.
airport. What the?
That's right.
I don't.
You
Isn't that
can't-
mind blowing? Like, I can't have.
Well, you can't go try to get 10 grand from your bank right now. They won't give it to you.
Isn't it fucking nuts?
They won't. You go to your bank. You know this.
Yeah,
You go
it's
to your
fucking-
bank. Hey, can I have money from my account? Yeah. How much do you want? You say anything over like 5 grand, you're gonna have a problem getting it. They're gonna ask you all these questions. It's your money.
Yeah, I can't have my money that I've been storing it here with you
Not
for the
that-
last
like-
fucking 30 years.
No problem with Bitcoin
No,
or
in
Ethereum
seconds.
or anything on the blockchain.
In seconds, and I could
You can
send
do
it to
whatever
you in
you want
seconds, and
with
it costs a fraction of.
I don't have to go through a questionnaire.
No KYC. I
Yeah.
mean, this is like, it's going to move this way. It's exciting to see. I think we're going to be living through I think it's going to be the next 5 years.
And it's so verified that like when we switched to being able to buy vehicles, for example, like you can't pay vehicles with cash right now for a good reason. It's
Mhm.
probably smart.
Hmm.
You're going to be able to do it very soon with your crypto wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is extremely trackable and verified and safe.
And safe.
Yeah.
It's all on the blockchain.
Yeah.
It's all. That's the thing about even on a public blockchain. Like Bitcoin's on a public blockchain. You can see every single person that owns it, when they owned it, how long did they own it.
So to that point, so that's what our dollar doesn't have. We can just print as much dollars
I
as
know.
we want. And that's what we do, by the way. And that creates inflation. And that's the problem we have right now. One of the problems. You can't do that with Bitcoin because there's only so many. There's only
That's
21
it.
million. That's the number,
Yes.
right? In existence ever. And after that, what is circulating is all that's there. So there'll never be more.
It's a finite supply, and then
Right.
just understanding that, you would think over time it's just going to continue to become more
You can't do
valuable.
that with anything else. It will
Yeah,
because there's supply and demand, obviously.
and people think it's dead now. It's at $70,000.
Bitcoin
Yeah,
is not.
yeah.
I know. It's just like the
Yeah.
sediment of like, oh, it was at 126, now it's at 70. Oh man, is it going to survive?
Well, with
Takes-
that argument, like think about Disney, right? They're right now their stock.
Their stock
If
is
you
down,
bought $1,000 worth of Disney stocks 11 years ago, it is exactly worth $1,000 right now.
That's right.
Like so, like everything has a cycle, like
Mhm.
you know.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like look, Pokemon cards. We were just
Oh.
looking at. Mickey Mantle cards and stuff like that. That stuff at one point, eBay killed it, right? Beanie Babies, all that stuff. eBay killed it, and now it's the hobby's at its largest it's been in a long, long time. And it doesn't look like it's
It's-
going to change.
And it's just like what people value and where do people want to spend their money. To your point, like they just keep printing out trillions. We're like $40 trillion in
Trillions of
debt.
dollars.
Like it's just trillions and trillions, and then you're like, wow, people are out here just trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
It is.
And like there's like trillions just being like shifted all over, and like they could just keep printing out that money. So I do think it comes back to crypto and having a finite supply of something, and like where they just can't manipulate the
You
price.
just you can't manipulate it.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
That's it. Like it's not like I saw a video once. It was these two aliens like looking down on Earth, and it was like these idiots like get all bent out of shape over a fake money that
I
they
know.
create, and then
Everything's
when
fake.
they run out, they just
Yeah.
make more. Like, it's like some of the stuff we care about and some of the stuff that we do as a society is or as humans is hilarious.
If
And
they are up there looking down on us, I don't know. I guess now's the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just come on.
Imagine if this was a reality
Come on in.
show. So you're in a
Yeah.
reality show
Well,
in
that's
a
what
reality
they say
show.
about they call it a simulation or a parallel
Right?
universe. Like this
Yeah.
exists somewhere else. I don't know, but I always say, dude, I'm ready for aliens. I
Yo, I want to.
want to have fun with them. Come on down.
They said they're going to release the
Yeah.
files, which is exciting
I don't
because,
know.
like, that's what I love about rivalry, and I think America's built off of that. Obama said that aliens exist, and now
Yeah.
Trump's like, well, I'll release it all
I
then.
know.
It's like, so I love
think-
that
I don't know,
competitiveness.
man. There's
Like,
too many files going on.
yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
I'd like to see the alien files. That's what I'd like to see.
There was a
that'd be
guy
fun.
like, you know, obviously in my business, there's a lot of cold calling emails, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there's a guy next to me and he was like, I'm going to write, you're in the files or whatever, and see if
Yeah.
you could get people to, I was like, I wouldn't do that. But you never know. Whatever gets them to get attention, I guess. I don't know.
But so to that point about the alien, we're focused on so much stuff.
So much noise.
It's all noise. It's all noise. And there's this so Steve Jobs, Kevin O'Leary talks about this. The Steve Jobs had a signal to noise ratio, and signal was like deep work focus. And he would, and it'd be 90-10 for him, I think is what Kevin O'Leary said.
Yeah.
And Steve Jobs has a reputation that we all know about not being a great guy, but obviously accomplished some tremendous, amazing things that without his contribution to society, probably a lot of this wouldn't exist. But Kevin O'Leary worked with him closely. So he's like signal to noise ratio is like 90-10. So 90 signal, always just bang. 10. Oh yeah, that's cool. But back to, oh yeah, here, but back to, you know? So I think if more people shifted to that, it would help everybody. Because we are as individuals, the more focused our communities are, the office is when you go to work, your family, and then everyone's just focused on getting better.
And contributing to society.
Right.
Go back to your other point.
Right.
Like just make yourself useful.
Be useful.
Be useful.
My dad I kept that since I was a kid. Like be
That's-
useful in some way.
Yeah, whatever. If you're in a group setting, you're in a community, you're in a team, just be useful. Be an asset to the team, be a member of the team, provide value. And it was at some teams and some organizations, I was the leader. At some organizations, I was the second or third guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are, but you have to be able to contribute and know when. You have to have that emotional intelligence to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to push here, but I'm going to take a step back here.
Right.
I'm going to push because it's all about it's all about getting that whatever those goals are and accomplishing those goals and whatever role that you need to play.
And be there for your team.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Grayson. He had soccer tryouts the other day, and the kids all got on. So they're 9 and 10, the kids, and they're all like, we have to score as many goals as possible for the tryout so we make the team. I'm like, actually, no, that's not the objective at all of this tryout.
Right.
They already know you can play soccer. They know you're a soccer player. They know you can score a goal. Anybody can kick a ball into a net. They want to see if you understand the game of soccer. They want to see your strategy and your way of thinking. They want to see you set up your team with an assist. They want to see you pass it to Chaz so Chaz can score. You don't always have to be the scorer because he wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Let Mike get the goal. Get the layup. Rebound it. Stay by the hoop for the ball to pass it to your team, right? It's not always about, because everyone's so center focused on I need. Let me be the star. No, man. Like, you guys are a team.
Right.
Give it to your team, then you all win.
Right.
And that's it. It's just such a microcosm of life
Yeah.
and helping people and being part of that. Like, if you guide someone or pass and get the assist, like, I don't know, I find a lot of joy in helping
Yes.
people. Because think about their confidence being boosted and think about how effective that they can be if they're more engaged in the game. Like, oh, dude, let's get this guy, let's get Mike involved because, you know, he's amazing, but he's not playing at the top of his level. Okay, let's get him involved. Let's him score. Wow,
Right.
he saw the ball go through the hoop or in the goal, the net. Like, that confidence building and boosting, it does a lot for that individual person, but it does a lot for the person that's also contributing to that person and seeing them
right.
succeed,
Right.
you know? And I think, you know, it just goes back to having your own self-confidence. If you're not confident in yourself, you're not going to want to see others succeed.
That's right.
And that's
Yeah.
that's
You need the
something.
morale, the team morale.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's a lot of things in life. It's tough and you get in your own head. But when you're looking at a team in a perspective, it's like, yeah, play that role. Like look at what you're required to do and do that role. And my dad always taught me this. Like, so I worked at Six Flags. I was 14. It was the only job I was allowed to do was sweep.
Yeah.
Right. And I went in, I was like, Dad, this is great. I don't really have to do anything. Like nobody is watching me. I could sit in the bathroom or sit in the 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 merch stand and just sit in the air conditioning and nobody knows who that guy am. And he's like, in life, you have two choices. You could either prepare yourself for the job you want and be successful at the job you currently have, or you could be lazy. So when you get that dream job, you have no idea what you're doing.
Mhm.
You have no work ethic. You have nothing. He's like, if you're going to take life serious, you're going to go back there and be the best goddamn sweeper you could possibly be.
Mhm.
And so the next day I painted my pen and broom platinum and I walked around that freaking park like I was a
Sick.
goddamn
That's awesome,
saint
man.
of sweeping.
I
And I
love
was
it.
great at it. Like, and I still, Germ, Ty, and my brother, we all work together. So everybody a part of this network, we at 14, 15 years old, we all kind of shared that same message from my dad, and we still all work together today. And now we own a podcast network. So it's kind of cool. But you know, that work ethic matters because like a lot of the kids that I see coming out of school and college, they have all the education. They check all those boxes, but then they don't have that work ethic. They also don't understand crisis situation or management
Right.
situation or even how to delegate. Right. So like they get put into a role and they're already behind the eight ball because, you know, they dicked around at Burger King and they didn't take it serious and they didn't take that job the right way. And fortunately for me, my dad was there to be like, no,
Mm.
you're going to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like anything else. If you don't half-ass anything,
Right.
like if you're gonna do something, give it 110%. Like
Right.
don't.
It's one
There
of
is
Arnold's rules.
yes.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass it.
Don't half-ass it. Why? Because it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit the
No.
person you're
No.
working with. It doesn't benefit you. And then you're just building, you know, you're building a shit routine and shit else's. And then
Yeah.
you're getting consistently just being lazy. And then you're consistently
Right.
half-assing it.
Well, we
Yeah,
all
and then
know as
when-
athletes, like that's noticeable.
Oh,
It's almost more noticeable than actually doing the thing that you have to do. Like you got the goal, cool, but you half-assed it.
Yeah.
And they notice that.
Mhm.
They see it. And it's like written on your forehead almost.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks because if you're in a position to make people better and they just don't care, that sucks.
Well, that's
It's-
like some of the scary things with pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
You take it
Oh,
like
you
it,
can't.
it wouldn't matter if you were at WrestleMania or down the street. Like
Yeah.
you take it serious because you have that other person's life
That's
in your
right.
hand. But my fear is like, what if that other guy doesn't, right?
There's so many of them.
So the
that are
people,
like-
right? The people
Yep.
you work with, you have to make sure they have that same kind of feeling. And I think about that a lot, like in life. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you got one coffee shop or a million, right? You have to figure out a way that you're giving that customer service because when you replicate it, you'll be able to grow, right? So you could expand as quickly as some of our friends are right now.
So how do you? That's a great question for you. How do you build that trust, or how do you have that commonality? Is there things prior? Do you expect the network or the organizations to build that in, or you're like, all right, before we get on this, Matt, like me and you got to be on the same page. Like, we're doing this thing? We're gonna look out for each other because we could get severe, like you could get severely hurt.
It's just like anything else.
Yeah.
Business, any other sport. There's a desired outcome and a goal that we have to achieve. I don't care how we get there. We need to do it though. So, all right, tonight I don't like you, you don't like me. Okay. How can we do the job that needs to be done? Rah, 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 rah. Okay. How can we do the job that needs to be done? Right? Without hurting each other. We don't have to like each other, but then there's been plenty of that too. Just like we have phone calls with people. Listen, I don't like you. How do we close the deal? What do we have to do?
Yeah.
It's done. We just have to get to the outcome, right? Because then it doesn't matter how we got there. We got there. So there's plenty of that in pro wrestling. And I've been through many of that. I don't even know how many times, but it's just like business. It's just like anything else that we're talking about here. We have to get there. We have to close the deal. We got to get to the finish line. So let's just do it. Right.
And the only way to build trust is have those interactions or like go through things that are hard that we both went through. We have commonality. We have a common sense like, okay, we can't do this without each other. We need each other. Let's make sure that this works properly. But I think that's going back to AI. Like, how do you build trust with people
Right.
in
Yeah.
right now? And as you're going through things, and we talk about going up the ladder and working your way up, it's not as much about that because no one's going to give you the entry level jobs because they don't need you to do those jobs. But how do you build that trust with somebody after you don't even have experience with it? Like,
Right.
that's, I
Well,
think,
another
scary.
job I applied for, and on paper it looked great, and I was excited. The recruiter was awesome. I threw it in the AI to ask if I was better where I was or taking this job, and it went down the nitty gritty of why it was too much of a niche program. It could easily be taken over by another company. Actually, that's probably what's going to happen in this company. So there's a lot of pros and cons that AI told me. So now I had tools for the interview. But then I get into the interview, and my wife still laughs about this to this day. He keeps talking about how he offers some of his clients a sweetheart deal, but every time he says it, he's putting up air quotes, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, you can't be
That's
my
the
leader if you're throwing up air quotes while you're talking about a product you want me to believe in and
Right.
then sell to people." So I was like, "I'm out." Like I
you got some major red flags right off the bat.
right. So between the AI data, knowing what I was going into, and then knowing that this guy was going to be my leader, and he's throwing up air quotes every time he says
Sweetheart, like
deal.
that's not the air. That's not the
Yeah.
right time.
Yeah, and then he like, and I asked where he ranked amongst his competitors in the same field, and he wouldn't even say third or fourth. So that means, there's a half a dozen people that are already better at it than you, and they're not throwing up air quotes in their thing. I was like, I appreciate you guys reaching out to me and trying to recruit me. I'm out. Like, I was very nice about it, very amicable. But the one thing that I noticed, being with Zach, while he's doing his craft and his business with pro wrestling was the networking, right? We're interviewing Nunzio, and you mentioned you met him through Tommy Dreamer,
Mhm.
right? Tommy Dreamer trusted you enough to introduce you to somebody he's trusted for years, right? You guys have now been together for 3 years. He's coaching you, he's mentoring you, but also he's your partner, and you guys are making decisions together of how to take your careers. And him trusting you, obviously, with his brand, shows how loyal he is to and vice versa, and how
Right.
rewarding you are. But the networking inside that locker room was pretty awesome. It was like a B2B marketing
It's great.
type
Well, it
thing.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And Tommy Dreamer, but it was first him who said, "Hey, I trust you to go do this thing that I hold near and dear,
Right.
being the FBI. I'm
Yeah.
going to bring in a dear friend of mine, Nunzio, little Guido. You guys are going to do this thing." That's like what we're doing.
Mhm.
And what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're
hey,
just trying to
we
figure
know
it
these
out.
people.
Yeah.
Let's do something cool.
Uh,
And by the way, if you have a disagreement with someone, like the wrestling example,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you get to the finish line anyway, you do it. That's a great opportunity sometimes to have another hard conversation. Like, all right, it's actually probably not as bad as we were making out to be.
Mhm.
Let's figure it out. Or I'll never do business with that person again. Either
Yeah.
way, there's progress somewhere,
Yes.
and that's what it's about. You just got to get to progress.
Sometimes the people that you think you have the worst experience with end up becoming your best friends.
Right.
Like, yeah, I've had so many of those
Me
where
too.
the first experience was like, oh my God, I never want to talk to that guy again. And now I can't stop talking about him. So it's kind of cool. Customers, clients, same thing. Like bad experiences, like, all right, now let me show you how I'll fix it. It's kinda
But
cool.
everything we just mentioned,
Mhm.
AI can't do.
Right.
So that's the stuff that
Yep.
even if you're uncomfortable and these conversations are hard to have, you should have them. I encourage you to have them because a robot can't do what we're talking about right now, or a program or an app or whatever it is. So there's value creation there.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
employers and people value somebody who's able to do those things very much. It's very highly
As we-
desired skill.
As we talk about this,
Yeah.
it's funny to say, but even like there's a relationship layer that is missing
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
resumes, from how people evaluate talent.
Yeah.
So I'll be working on that from a technology standpoint on the relationship layer. But how, like, where does like having those tough conversations? It's like going to the gym and having
Mhm.
reps. You just don't do bench one day and you're like, I'm
That's right.
good. Like those hard conversations are just mental reps and
Yeah.
mental reps of having hard conversations, how to conversation. So then when you do have them, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I am so overly prepared.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I went into the gym and I'm going to, whether you're doing professional wrestling, football, bodybuilding, whatever it is, you don't just do it one time and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we think about it from a mental capacity and a mental aspect and mental reps.
Mhm.
You avoid it at all costs. Like you just don't want to have hard conversation. You're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Yeah.
I don't need to meet with this person. You know what? I'm not going to do business with them. I'm just going to ghost them and never talk to them again. Like
Yeah.
you just avoid those things. And I think having those hard conversations you become great at having hard conversations. But
Yeah.
guess that happens every day in life. Like,
Right. And
so-
I think so too. Like
Yeah.
honesty is great. Like, and also if you're really all in with like a partner, like Zach and I he's had to talk me off the ledge a few times, and we've only been doing this for a year and a half together. But it's like to have those conversations with people you could trust. There's nothing more important than that, you know,
Mhm.
and like to have those raw, honest, like, cause there's a lot of fake people in this world. Like we run into them every day. So to cut through that crap
Yep.
and just be like, hey man, I'm here. And there's been at least a dozen times where Zach's like, yo, same team, bro, on the same course. We're on the
Yes.
same thing. And to know somebody's there
Here's
for
your
you.
layup.
Yeah. But you know, it's been you know, that type of stuff is invaluable. And like you said, you can't get that off a computer chip. Not yet.
No, and the other thing is it translates to everything else in your life. If you're able to do it at work, you can go home if you have to.
Uh-huh.
Like, hey, what's going on here? Let's
Right.
have a conversation,
Right.
and then just figure it out so we can eat dinner tonight and everything's good. And now there's tension. You go to the office the next day, there's tension with Susie in the corner. Like, why, Susie? Come here. What's the problem?
Right.
Right?
Look,
It's
you
like,
know,
yeah,
I can't
let's
deal-
figure it out.
that's the same
Yeah.
thing. I can't deal
And
with
there's
this.
such a mental load
Look,
that
yes.
weighs on your conscience. It doesn't matter who you are. It weighs you down because
Yeah.
you're focused on that. You should be focused on productivity, not
Right.
not
So
this.
right.
Right?
That's
So
where
right.
humans
Yeah.
stink. Like,
Right.
is that like, cause when I'm over something, I say something, I'm over. Half the stuff I say, I don't even remember because of the fact that it was in the moment, we adjusted and we fixed it.
Yeah.
Right. So, a lot of times it's like almost like a workout or a conversation where, okay, I said what I said, and then was it fixed? No. All right. Then we'll bring it up a different way.
Right.
Or like it's problem solving. Like it's never a situation where I'm like, oh, I can't believe he said
right.
that. Now I'm not going to talk to him for a week and a half. Like that's ridiculous.
But going back
Right.
to being useful, okay,
Right.
Susie, you don't want to do that. This is why you're going to get replaced by a computer.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I could pay them. I'll spend
Emotionless.
30%
Yeah.
of what it costs to have you here.
And when you
And
switch
I don't-
the app
that's
or
the
switch
truth.
the computer thing, you don't
That's
have
the
to feel
truth.
bad.
Right.
You know?
They're not going to be
It's not
this.
gonna be weighing on your conscience
Right.
for a week
So,
or,
like,
or a weekend or
wow.
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's such an important skill in life to be able to have hard conversations and work your way out of it and figure out a solution, problem solve. It's such a valuable skill.
Oh my god, it's so underrated, and
Mhm.
but it's not listed on like
because
a
you
resume.
can't because you can't teach it.
No, and it should be like I've had 1,000 tough conversations.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
know how to navigate whether it's the staff members or my superiors or refer or partners that we work with. Like had thousands of these conversations, but it doesn't list it on there. It's like because it's not quantifiable,
Right.
and people just want to know, is it quantifiable or is it not?
right.
And this
Right.
is that gray relationship layer that's missing
Mhm.
from evaluation of talent overall.
Mhm.
It's the same thing when they're evaluating talent for the NFL combine or anything like that. It's like,
Yep.
all right, what's your 40? When are these guys ever running 40 yards in a straight line?
Yeah,
Ever on a
exactly.
field?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you have
Especially
to
a 300-pound lineman. Like that's never happening.
it's just never
Yeah.
ever going to happen ever. But we need something quantifiable. We need to
Right.
say this person ran this. This is what they did, and it's checks and balances.
So back to the soccer trial.
Yes.
My thing was they want to see if you're capable. Can you, if you were asked, could you do this task? That's what that's what
Yes.
this is for.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
if there's a way to put that on paper, hey, I could have hard conversations with people and whatever, but it's not. So
No,
the only
I
way
know.
to do that is to see it in person through real life experience.
Well, even like I feel like our generation was so much better at debating than like all like public speaking.
100%.
Like
We don't
'cause-
debate because you
right.
just look it up. You freaking
No, or it's
GPT
and
or
it's,
go.
or it's a line in the sand. Like the minute,
Mhm.
oh, you're pro-abortion, anti-abortion, or whatever. Like, oh, you're on that side. I'm done with you.
Uh-huh.
Like, and it's never like nobody hears the other side anymore, or nobody even understands. Like, my mom believes abortion is murder. So unfortunately, that's what she has to vote for
Mhm.
because she believes that in her heart. Doesn't mean she believes in the other 12 things that go with that,
Mhm.
but she believes in that one thing so much that that's her true north. That's not no fault to her, whatever, right? Like that's how what she believes. Like why she's my mom, I freaking love her. Like I
Yes.
don't care,
Yeah.
right? Like it's my mom. I take that out of it and I say, okay, well, I still love her. I still care about her.
Mhm.
But nowadays, like nobody processes it that way. They're just like, you're against us, or you don't understand it. You can't be compassionate. You can't, because it's not your cross to bear. And that stuff bothers me so much because I've
Me too.
supported so many different walks of life, and then now I'm told, well, I don't matter because of I can't understand what they're going through.
You have to be able to have conversations.
Yeah,
I think that's also the fun part
wild.
too, is bullshitting and
Yeah.
debating or going back and forth. All right, this is
Yeah.
my top 5 NBA guys. This is your top. Like,
Yes.
why? What are we talking? What you talking about? You're gonna put LeBron there. You're gonna
LeBron,
put
Jordan. Okay.
like those are fun
yeah, those are fun.
debates. And I don't know. It's like now we have our phones are so accessible. Be like, all right, what's the top 5 scoring guys? Instead of
Yeah.
like thinking,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, let me just find out right now. And just like, I don't know. It just takes a lot of the fun out of everything. They have some trend going on now
Yeah.
that's like doing the 90s where they just like put their phones in like a basket or something and they just walk to play, like
Yeah.
walk to the bar with your friends without
Okay.
phones.
Nice.
And like, I don't know I don't know the exact statistics. I don't know how many people are within this study, but from the few people that I saw on social, they're like, it's fucking awesome. We actually have real conversations. We have
Yeah.
debates. We're not looking at our
Yeah.
phones, fact checking every single thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just more entertaining to be around people that's not checking their phones and
Yeah.
looking at it.
Oh.
We need it for directions and certain things now with GPS and everything else.
Right.
But they said if you could walk to those places or walk to the bar, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
definitely something that is entertaining.
I think being able to compartmentalize too, which is what you were
Yeah.
saying, like, okay, you think LeBron's the best, I think Jordan's the best. All right, let's get to business now. Like, we don't have to let that ruin every. Like, you don't have to let that
Doesn't
destroy
bleed into everything else.
everything, unless it gets to a certain way and other things happen, right?
Yeah.
But like, okay, cool. You like LeBron, I like Jordan.
I love comedy. And I grew up on making fun of Bill Clinton for the dress and I did not have
Yeah,
sex.
yeah.
And then it transferred, which was Bush.
Yes.
There was a cartoon called Little Bush.
Yeah.
He said he didn't even want the job. His dad kind of made him. He wanted to stay playing baseball or being a manager. He was still a great president. Thank God we had him for 9/11. I'll say that till I'm like, it would have been
Mhm.
scary to
Mhm.
have Al Gore was very robotic. I'm not gonna lie. And if he went through what Bush did, like I'd be scared. Like honestly, I would. But it's fun to look back and be able to make fun of each other and be able to do
That's the whole point.
comedy
It is.
sucks
Yeah.
now. Like, and it's starting to get better.
It's
Starting
starting
to get
to
better.
come back,
But
isn't
dude,
it?
it
A
should have never
little.
gotten to that point where we were like canceling comedians. Like, what are we talking
I
about?
just-
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
humor keeps the world going. It's a part of
Well, that was actually this was during COVID.
Yeah.
And we were creating a fun NFT project. I was working with Jeff Ross. Awesome guy. But during that time, he's like, I want to create an NFT project where if I say any of these jokes on Netflix, I'm going to get canceled. But if you buy them and they're on a closed community and you purchased it,
they're yours.
they're yours.
Love it.
So we never got a chance to launch that project, just with everything going on and changing scope. It was just
Yeah.
fun to go through that process though, and to work with Jeff was a pleasure. And it's just like different things like that just goes back, and you're like, I can't even say things that I want to. I'm a comedian.
No,
I
right.
literally rip on people for a living. Like
Well,
this is my job.
Even worse, somebody now is going to hear this and rip on you for even considering working with him.
Right. That's even adjacent. Cancel adjacent was
Yeah,
wild. Like
yeah.
we had April Fools actually during COVID. I had Francis Ellis on, and our DMs went nuts. And
It's crazy.
they're like, he's a womanizer, he's all this other stuff. And I was like, the funniest thing is he had a song called A Feminist, and he was a feminist and he was pro feminism.
Yeah.
And it's my wife's favorite song. And I couldn't wait to tell him on the air that it was that. But back then he was canceled from Barstool for writing an article about two women that a woman that eventually ended up being murdered. But there was, I guess, there there was activity on her phone. So it sounded like she was on her way home or whatever. So they're like, oh, she probably just, so he wrote this article, got Dave Portnoy fires him, and he's back now with Barstool. But that was during a time where, yeah, people were threatening to cancel me before my podcast even started because I was having him on as a guest on April Fool's Day. Like, and it was a fantastic, he introduced me to comedians that were now are, the first time I ever heard, not Bert, the other guy, Shane Gillis, his name was then.
That's
like,
great.
it was awesome. Like, so he's just telling people that are coming up. He's like, I'm telling you, this guy's going to matter. So it was cool. But yeah, there was so much haters in the DMs just because I was working with them. And same thing.
Always
like,
issues. Yeah. People are crazy.
crazy.
There are. I'll revert back to Saran for a plug. My slogan is beyond the noise.
Yeah, there you go.
like
That's
that.
perfect.
We
like
talked
that.
about all the noise out there. We
perfect.
talked about everything
Yeah.
else. It's just like I'm over it. Just
Yeah.
I want to focus on building great relationships,
That's
helping
it.
businesses, providing value, and just cut through the bullshit.
Being useful.
Yeah.
That's
Being
it.
useful.
Well, obviously,
Old
we're
school
friends.
mentality,
That's
but
it.
it's like I think it applies to any industry, any job, any opportunity. It was like if you tell me to go sweep the floor, okay, well let me make sure I do a good job sweeping the floor. That's my job.
Right.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
hired here to do.
Yeah.
You
I've
guys should
been-
read. Arnold has a book, Be Useful. It's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
book.
I was invited to a meet and greet, Brendan Graham, and it was with Crooked Tea. And they're like, man, it'd be really cool. Like, it's at a liquor store that sold the most Crooked Tea, right, in PA. And the owner goes, man, it'd be really cool if like some of these people actually bought the tea while they're here.
Mm.
So I start working the line, be like, yo, you want to keep cool stuff like this happening? Like, buy a 6-pack, just buy
Yeah.
this. And I sold more alcohol. Like, I felt like it was Black Friday. I'm just
That's awesome.
handing people stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't tell them they had to buy it to meet him, but I was like, he'll probably sign more if you buy more. Like, Brendan would sign anything anybody ever wanted. He's
That's
an
great.
awesome human being. But I think about that. Like, that day I became a sale. Like, I
Yeah.
was
I was
there.
just being useful for my
Right.
friend or helping out the
Yeah.
brand. Was it
And-
part of my job to do that? No,
No.
not
Yeah.
at all. But you're like,
Yeah.
I'm here. I have a great personality. People
Yeah.
interact with me, and if I can have some influence on buying and supporting my buddy's brand and know
Yeah.
it's a great product, why wouldn't I do that then? Like that's the thing. But people don't go out of their way to do that or think critically
Right.
in order to be able to provide that value and be useful. I don't.
Exactly.
But the people that do, obviously, you have to have a certain sense of awareness of like where you can be useful and not be overstating your welcome in ways where
right,
you're
That's
like,
right.
okay,
That's right.
back off, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't know what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing. So you got to have that sense of understanding where
Yeah.
like,
Is
I'm
there
gonna-
a void I
yeah.
could fill?
Yes.
And that day, for the first hour and a half, I just sat there. I was like, should I go order the food? They're like, yeah, you want to, like, I was trying to think of roles I could do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he says this, and I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt like I was slinging Blu-ray players back in the day in Circuit City.
I love
Like,
it.
it was great. It was awesome. But this has been awesome, dude. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. And that's the other thing, the importance of networking, knowing like now I know what you do.
Yeah.
Like I knew you as Chaz
Yeah.
from Valley Springs, but now I know your superpower, man. It's been cool.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
this is what you do, and this is why I wanted to have you on separately because there's so much
Appreciate
here. Obviously, we're great friends, and this has been great, man. So I'm glad you and Mike now got aligned and connected on the same wavelength
Yeah,
that
it's
we have been, and we all are going to continue to help each other and grow, and that's what it's about. So
I love it, man. You guys got an amazing pod. I know you guys are just kicking things off and just getting rolling. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for just this type of content and bringing awareness to whether it's health, wellness, financial literacy, seeing things that people can just help in their everyday lives because people are going through so many different things. I think this pod just kind of it sheds light on things that people don't necessarily want to talk about
Mhm.
or have the lack of a better term, just have the balls to be able to talk about it and just go through some of the uncomfortable conversations and do these things. So it's incredible, man. You guys are doing an amazing job.
thank you, man. I was going to say intestinal fortitude because that's a Vince McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm going to get canceled for saying Vince McMahon on my own podcast. So I really don't care.
We're gonna have him on.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I
gonna,
will
we gotta
have
put them on
Vince.
that
Yeah,
list.
I will
yeah.
have Vince on.
That would be
Dude,
tremendous.
this has been great, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Good shit, man. Good shit.